Diona have received a pretty major mechanical change. Before I get into that major mechanical change, very quickly, if a Diona takes over 12 heat damage from a single source, they will get some fire stacks, and if you keep hitting them, they'll get more fire stacks. So getting hit by lasers is very dangerous as a Diona. On to the main point of the video. A lot of you probably already saw the first part. That part had a lot of, not necessarily misinformation, just incomplete information because the PR was broken and I literally couldn't test it properly. I probably should have waited to put it out, but it made it in-game broken, so I was trying to help save some players some confusion, but it might have just made more confusion. So I do apologize if I led anyone astray. But we had an admin meeting, we discussed some things, there were some clarifications on the PR itself from the person who made it, thank you Link. Other than that, let's get into it. So when a Diona fully dies, the Diona player themselves will actually gain an action on the left side of the screen called Gib Yourself. This is also true if you rot, because fully rotting will gib you, or if somebody gives you manually, say they just keep beating you with the toolbox, you blow up in a big explosion, whatever the case may be. You'll split into these nymphs. One will be the brain, one will be the stomach, and one will be your lungs. The stomach and lungs are AI controlled, and you, the player, will still be your normal nymph. And it will even say, contains the brain of a formerly fully formed Diona. So to indicate for the crew members that this is or was one of your crew members. Thankfully, these nymphs actually can talk. They have no audio, so it might be easy to miss, and they are just labeled as Diona Nymph. So you have to be very cautious as a crew member to not accidentally kill the nymph carrying the brain, or the nymph that is the brain. I don't know Diona biology. However, your original Diona is dead, they're gone. But you are still your brain, you are still yourself. If you are a syndicate, you will still even have your objectives. And as a very quick clarification, dying as your original body still counts as a death. So if you have die a glorious death as a Diona, which this is a great example, I managed to get it randomly by pure chance. If you have die a glorious death as a syndicate Diona, you can turn into your nymph and be reborn, aka after 10 minutes, nymphs can be reformed into fully grown Diona. You can technically die a glorious death and keep existing as a syndicate agent, because your brain is still your brain, which means you're still an antagonist, you're still yourself. From what I have gathered from the admin meeting to try to relay as much information as possible, only the brain is considered an antag. The game literally only considers the brain an antag, so both mechanically and through admin enforcing, the way I can tell, is that these nymphs, even if they are cognizant, you can cognizant these nymphs, and they can turn in their own full Diona, are non-antagonists. They're just like newborn Diona. I mean, they are just organs, so I don't know if we need to get into the philosophical discussion if organs are inherently evil or good. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing else to really discuss with the Diona Nymph. On the side, you have the action, like I said. After 10 minutes, you can reform into Diona. It takes like 5 seconds. There's a little do after bar, and you'll turn into a full Diona with a random name, random appearance. The nymphs can't crawl under doors. They actually can't open doors at all, so whatever room you give in is where you are. But yeah, that's really it. This adds a lot of life to Diona. I also think this is cool, because if you're, say you're an antag and you have a kill objective for a Diona, you can kill them, and you don't have to kill the nymph, but the nymph is still the brain, and they still talk, so they could rat you out. But as far as objectives go, it just considers the original body as the objective. It doesn't care about the brain, so you don't have to go too hard in it. And just by the way, I know this is going to be a question. If you kill the nymph itself, it will actually drop the original brain. As you can see, I returned to the brain. So even if you get Gib twice as your original body and a nymph, you still have a chance of Borgification, which, going from plant to little plant to Borg, is a hell of a life cycle. There are very interesting things that happen in Space Station 14. I don't think I missed anything else. So yeah, if you turn into a nymph, you're still yourself, but you will be in a new body. Feel free to roleplay that however you want. There's probably going to be some interesting conversations with the Hop trying to convince them that you are this previous Diona, but that are them no longer. But yeah, I don't have a full clarification on like whether or not nymphs are considered station pets. We're still discussing that, but I wanted to get this info out as quickly as possible to clarify as much as possible, because I don't want to mislead people, and I do apologize if you were misled. But considering no one has actually been able to really play as a nymph, no harm done because they were merged not working. So there actually hasn't been a real round where somebody has gotten got gibbed and actually played as a nymph. Things will be worked out. I'm sure there will be more clarifications for it, but this mechanically explains it all, and that should be good. I I think that's everything. Thank you for watching.